It's like skin crispy. It's very crispy.
I'm going to be doing something a bit different for the Bay Hub group thing, which is I'm going to show you how to make one of my favourite dishes, crispy skinned. Sloan knows that the salmon's going to be made, that's why he's lurking around. But let me show you the process I go through to make crispy skinned salmon in 10 minutes. First off, the small cheat is you have to have the oven on. So I've got this on at 350 degrees. I also have a baking tray in the oven, in the top shelf there, ready to go. And I've taken this out of the fridge as well, a couple minutes ahead. Just get some paper towel and dry it off. This is going to help crisp it up, especially. So look at this side here. You really want this quite dry on the skin side, especially. I'm a really big fan of this one. 21 Seasoning Salute from Trader Joe's and Smoke Paprika. That's awesome. I tend not to put too much salt on it, but some umami seasoning can be pretty nice as well. And I have some onion powder too. For evenings, not just because it's quick, but it's really good for Leo as well. And even Mr. Sloan, who's prowling around, going to get some too. Sushi for you. Okay, so here's the seasoning. And I'm just going to apply this straight to the bottom. Before I do that, I'm going to add just a slight touch of canola oil or a vegetable oil would work well here as well. I'd recommend against using olive oil because this is going to get a bit hot and olive oil doesn't do too well when it's on a high temperature. This adding a bit of oil here, even though it's a very oily dish, is good mostly just to keep it off the bottom of the pan, and it'll help the seasoning stick as well. So this is on the bottom side where we're going to add most of our flavour.
Oh, I think Sloan wants some more.
Yeah, too late, mate. It's all seasoned now. You're not going to like it. It's a really healthy or unhealthy amount of salt to put on. This is really going to help dry it out and get that nice crispy skin. This is where all the salt is in the dish, so it's really going to be great to take a nice big bite of crispy skinned salmon along with the rest of it. And why this is quite good is when we feed Leo, we just separate that part out. We just take the skin off and then it's very easy to feed him. Okay, now this is why I love this dish so much because it's so easy. So I'm going to change the oven settings now. It's a good ambient temperature, but now we change it to broil. So the broil is where the heat comes from the top, and that's really going to allow us to crisp up that skin super fast. But then the pan is already very hot, so that's going to get it from the bottom as well. And that's what makes it possible to finish this dish in 4 minutes. We'll see. Okay. Starting up. Put these right into the middle. You can hear it already starting. And there we go. So for gas ovens, you can close it on the broiler, but we're going to keep a close eye on it in a couple of minutes. Keep thinking to close that. Alright, so while that's going, that's only one part of it. Well, I say like 10 minutes salmon, now I'm going to prepare some sides to go with it. So for today, what I'm going to make is just some side dishes when I'm thinking about a compliment for them. I try not to make things that are too oily to go with it because the salmon's already very oily. So typically what I find works well is usually when we make this each week is like a salad with a nice zesty lemon dressing and then a pretty neutral carbohydrate. So that might be for us quinoa or rice goes really well, and like even with the quinoa it goes really nicely with, well, both of those go really well with like stock, like a chicken stock. Yeah, I would avoid things like fries because that would also be very oily alongside the dish. But today I think we're just both happy with no carb and just having like some veggies and some spinach. So let's just check and see how this is going so far. I want to keep all that heat in the oven, but we can already start to see it's really starting to change colour. In fact, that salmon's pretty thin, so I almost wish I didn't take it out of the fridge because it would have like kept some of the coolness in there. So I think it's going to, by the time the salmon's done this time, it's actually going to be a little bit of a cool. If you don't know, always wash your vegetables. Even if it says it's already been washed. There are so many pesticides and that's not good. You have to wash up the pesticides for all veggies. But then also if your veggies have been in the fridge a few days, or in this case, served up already, you're just going to want to wash off that excess bacteria. Great. Yeah, that's already pretty fast, so it's almost there and it's almost on 12. I'm going to give this another minute, but just leave this open while I'm chopping up. That's very close.
Do not recommend for serving the salmon on a chef basis.
Not cinnamon, I guess.
Peanut butter?
Yeah. So there we go. That's basically 10 minutes and we're on the mark there.
Oh yeah.
I would suggest with the spices that you just try to choose a profile and stick with it. So as in either go into your more Eastern European or Arabic or Italian or like Asian style. But if you try to mix those across it doesn't always turn out that good. Yeah, it's on 10 minutes. I guess what I'll do as well is I'm just going to try opening this up to show you how it's serving. Usually you wouldn't do this, you just go ahead and serve. But you can see it's already like nicely cooked on the bottom, it's crispy on top, and it should be, I mean, I think it won't be rare. Oh, actually that's good.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
just about perfect, really.
Nice.
That's exactly what we want. That's the thicker slice.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that's like nice and rare inside. Finishing it on here, just on the heat, is going to be fine. Oops, turn this off. But then this one is going to be virtually perfect because it's a little bit thinner. There we go. Yeah. So for this fry, I'm just going to use vegetable oil to start off, and the butter is going to be for the flavour afterwards. So here's fried up with some garlic and spice. I'm just going to chuck this in and add some butter and turn it off. It doesn't need all that heat to finish it off. There's a lot of like excess heat in the pan itself, and that's what's going to, and the food, which is actually going to wilt the spinach just about perfectly.